So. Nochmal ganz kurz. Oh, ist das geil, Heffer, du. Oh. Ich kann da wirklich stundenlang rausgucken. Oh, so. Ja, okay, mich kribbelt's. Ich glaube, jetzt ist ein guter Zeitpunkt, noch eine Lesestunde anzustreben. Ja. Ryder, mittlerweile habe ich mich an ihn gewöhnt. Ich kann ihn mittlerweile gut leiden. Den Ryder. Guter Kerl. Kann man machen. So. Kodex. Das haben wir alles durch. Arc Species, Andromeda Species. Kommt auf jeden Fall noch dran. Planets and Locations. Habe ich fertig gelesen. Genau, das waren die 4 Sachen. Technology, Ships and Vehicles. Fangen wir mit Technology an. Exploration Tools. Scanner. Planet surveying, especially for potential settlement, involves meticulous scanning. However, there has been little pressure to improve planetary scanners. In its search for a better solution for its pathfinders, the Andromeda initiative began with hardware salvaged from GEF platforms and software developed by the Solarian STG. With artificial intelligence support, initiative scientists developed a fast, accurate sampling system codenamed PanOpts, linking it to the quantum computing power of an AI, which can produce multiple analyses on predictive models in seconds to create an Omni-tool-mounted scanner that completes accurate surveys in moments instead of weeks. For typical scanning, the PanOpt system uses a transmitter-accelerated mass spectrometer. This creates a snapshot of an object's components, atomic weight, and radioactivity, and allows me to produce a more in-depth analysis. For biological materials, the PanOpt system switches to an electrospray ionization system, so plants or animals can be scanned without causing radiation damage. Field repurposing. With limited cargo space aboard the arcs for specialized gear facing unknown dangers in Andromeda, the initiative's philosophy is adapt to succeed. Colonists are required to have a wide variety of skills. Equipment and weapons are expected to perform multiple functions. However, this adaptability is fueled by non-renewable resources like ammunition, Medigel, and power cells. Knowing they would not be readily available in Andromeda in an emergency, the initiative's Omni-tools can recover and repurpose appropriate resources to serve a similar function. Liquid coolant allows weapon heat sinks to be reused. Organic compounds can be refined into Medigel, and so on. When these resources are available, the user is alerted via an interface between the user's scanner and their HUD. Sehr gut. Jump jets. Once proprietary hardware for Turian special forces, initiative armor comes with jump jets as standard. These jets allow users to make extremely high jumps or hover for several seconds. All colonists are trained in their operation to evade predators or environmental hazards, obtain resources or conduct maintenance in high places safely. The jump jet itself consists of a helium-free microthruster with a tungsten hafnium carbide casing. A gyroscopic element zero core functions to both keep the user orientated in flight and lower their mass while hovering, keeping fuel expenditure down. Hard-coded safety features prevent continuous operating of jump jets to avoid injuring the user or melting their equipment. Sehr gut. Consumable resources. While Andromeda Initiative gear and weaponry is designed to be as versatile as possible, extraordinary circumstances sometimes arise. Pathfinder and Scout Force often turn to less orthodox resources to ensure they survive hostile conditions. Adrenaline is a nickname for a prototype Omnigel OSD package. When deployed, it bypasses Omni-tool safeties to manufacture, small-scale manufacture, new heat sinks and provide a temporary but powerful boost to armor. A shield capacitator immediately overlocks a user's shield, bringing them to full power and giving them a boost. This boost is unstable, however, will be lost the next time the shield is breached. A life support pack boosts the environmental management systems of a user's hardsuit, enabling them to cope with environmental hazards for a longer period. Special ammunition packs apply a variety of effects to weapon fire. Incendiary armor coats projectiles in termite paste as they are fired. The paste adheres to and burns through armor. Cryo ammo uses Bose-Einstellkondensat to freeze an enemy or slow them. Disruptor ammo projectiles carry an electrical charge that damages enemy hardsuit systems. The Cobra RPG packages use a volatile solution of Omnigel to manufacture a short-lived but extremely dangerous projectile launched from an Omni tool and hits with the same explosive power as a portable rocket launcher. Cool, das waren jetzt die Gadgets erklärt. Omni-Tools. Omni-Tools are handheld devices that combine a computer microframe, sensor analysis pack, and manufacturing fabricator. Versatile and reliable, an Omni-tool can be used to analyze and adjust the functionality of most standard equipment, including weapons and armor from a distance. The holographic haptic interface also functions as a communication device. With sufficient Omnigel or other raw materials, usually converted from salvaged light alloys, plastics or ceramics, an Omni-tool's fabrication module can forge small three-dimensional objects or emergency suit patches. This allows quick repairs or modifications in this field. The Andromeda Initiative's Omni-tools are designed for reliability and efficient recycling of materials. Pathfinder Omni-tools take design inspiration from the models used by Solarian Intelligence Services, prioritizing the computer microframe to allow lag-free scanning and AI support. Research and development. Crafting new weapons, armor, and equipment requires a variety of materials. Though there are strange new isotopes and ores in Andromeda, our scientists have identified familiar elements. Interessant, dass es hier neue Isotope und Materialien wirklich gibt, aber gut. Die Elemente müssten überall gleich sein eigentlich, aber vielleicht durch die Remnant, dass die krasse Technologie haben. Und darum andere Isotope, die wir noch nicht erzeugen konnten. Weil es sie zwar gibt, aber wir nicht die technologischen Möglichkeiten bisher hatten. Kann schon sein. Ja, kann schon sein. Wir finden ja auch immer neue Materialien. Das durch so Graphen zum Beispiel, zweidimensionaler Kohlenstoff, mit vollkommen anderen Eigenschaften. Wurde auch erst vor wenigen Jahren das erste Mal erzeugt. Dafür gab es sogar den Nobelpreis. Und von daher, kann schon sein, kann schon sein. Wir sind auf dem Weg ins Unbekannte, da muss man auch mit dem Unbekannten rechnen, ne? Oder? Ja, ich denke schon. Ich denke, so ist es. Heavy metals such as iron, cadmium, and nickel are used in construction and heavy manufacturing. Their density makes them useful for armor components and ammunition blocks. Many light metals, including silicon, beryllium, magnesium, and aluminum, are resistant to corrosion and invaluable for computer components, heat sinks, and high conductive electrical wiring, while lithium has both engineering and medical applications. Titanium, a transition metal, is early sought after for starship construction. Vanadium improves steel quality and is used by the aerospace industry. Noble metals, including platinum, copper, and iridium, are rare and valuable in the Milky Way. They are often used in high-quality electronics or machine parts that require high precision. Kupfer ist auch in der Milchstraße, also ich glaube, wirklich in der ganzen Milchstraße? Minerals like graphite used to manufacture carbon nanotubes and carbon fiber, and fluoride for high-precision scientific lenses are more common but equally useful. The initiative pays well for more hazardous materials. Uranium is used in weaponry and nuclear-powered facilities, while Element Zero has applications in multiple fields. Heavy industry, starship engines, jump jet components, or even as an ingredient in many advanced medicines, to name but a few. Weapon and armor mods. Andromeda Initiative equipment is designed to be modular and adaptable to any situation. Weapons and armor in particular are built with the understanding that they will be customized multiple times in the field over the operational lifetime. Gun modifications can be purchased from appropriate locations or recovered in the field. Each weapon's targeting computer also contains an adaptive integration VI that analyzes the mod installation, adjusts the weapon's balance, heatsink requirements, and ammunition block accordingly, and sends a list of any additional components to the user's Omni tool for manufacturing. The process typically takes only a few minutes. We now know that some remnant technology functions in a similar fashion. The highly advanced modules recovered from remnant sites can be integrated into existing armor pieces. Their ability to fuse in this way has earned them the nickname Fusion Mods. This is hotly debated in the Nexus Tech Labs. The full capabilities of these fusion mods is still being researched, while they offer impressive benefits. Successfully integrating them with our technology often requires a trade-off in some capabilities, while vastly improving others. The user is advised to choose their fusion mods with care. Okay. Soll mir recht sein. Ich bin vorsichtig. Vorsichtig, vorsichtig, vorsichtig. So. Research Center. A research center is a research and development platform normally assigned to outposts and some select initiative starships. Advanced manufacturing capabilities, small-scale manufacturing and information processing allows the research center to develop new technology and build it almost on the spot. They are also used to build powerful augmentations that enhance the capability of equipment. Given the initiative's current limitations, bandwidth and resources allocation to research centers is carefully monitored. The Nexus underlines the importance of new discoveries by rewarding scans and information gathered via a point system. Commonly referred to as research data points, these can be used for access time at research centers to discover or create new blueprints. Das ist natürlich eine coole Erklärung, finde ich. Für die Research Points tatsächlich. Nicht schlecht, liebe Entwickler. Settling Helios. Woohoo! Technology. Charting Andromeda. Charting the Andromeda galaxy for habitable planets presents a unique challenge. Observation is limited by light, and given Andromeda's distance, any observations from the Milky Way are 2.5 million years out of date, enough time for a planet to have altered irrevocably. Initial attempts to identify settlement sites were made by obtaining SARI astronomical surveys and running them through predictive models. But Gene Garson was unwilling to risk thousands of colonists without solid information. Eventually, the initiative obtained promising data from Aquarian explorers who claimed to have found a gap area on the fringes of the Perseus Rail. This area was supposedly built from 3 mass relays using sensors in the combined relay corridor as a form of faster-than-light telescope to observe dark space beyond the galactic rim. Why the gap expended so much effort to study dark space is not known. Amongst these observations were near contemporary surveys of Andromeda. When our predictive models confirmed them with an acceptable margin, the initiative was able to begin identifying golden worlds. Oh yes. Wie cool eigentlich. Wie cool. Fucking cool. Fucking love it. Fucking cool. Ne, wirklich ohne Spaß. Communication and QEC. Quantum Entanglement Communication. Ich weiß. Communications have always been a concern for interstellar colonists. Trade, defense, and political representation depend on reliable lines of communication. The most sophisticated method is quantum entanglement communication. This utilizes a pair of particles that are linked on a quantum level. Any effect on one particle is mirrored instantaneously by the other, regardless of the distance between. Pathfinder and Plants used miniaturized QECs to remain in contact with their AI partners. However, manufacturing these particles pairs is a delicate and difficult process, especially with resources limited in Helios. Long term, the Andromeda Initiative plans to establish a comm relay network, transmitting data between buoys linked by mass-free corridors of space. The Scourge has hampered these efforts. In the meantime, Initiative starships act like maritime mail packets, carrying secure data packages that transmit to approved colony receivers once they are in range. The transmissions are limited by the ship's data storage and the capability of receivers, but improvements are ongoing. Cool. Forward Station geht es um. Automated forward stations are part of the initial wave of exploration colonist deployment. They contain valuable resource caches for explorers to resupply, repair stations for vehicles, and ground-penetrating sensors to identify mineral deposits. Their presence improves the chance of a planet being considered viable. When a planet is seriously considered for settlement or a survey is ongoing, forward stations are seeded into orbit via automated barges. Once summoned to a designated zone, forward stations descend and anchor themselves on the ground, becoming valuable landmarks. Most scout rovers have forward station connectivity, allowing them to be summoned to the stations. Current resources Mir läuft schon wieder der Speichel im Mund zusammen, unfassbar. Current resource constraints mean that, in theory, only Pathfinder have official sanction to call down forward stations. In reality, reports show that enterprising colonists or unscrupulous scavengers have been known to hack the signals to raid the stations for supplies. Dudes. Sehr gut. Die Dinger wollte ich auch noch lesen. Without a steady supply of minerals and metallic ores, the initiative's engineering capabilities grind to a halt. With plans so far off schedule, it's even more important to gather resources wherever possible. On the ground, Pathfinder scanners and the ground-penetrating radar of forward stations assist in locating resources for immediately harvest or for colonists beginning their own mining operations. In space, Initiative starships can pinpoint resources from orbit. Each ship is equipped with probes that contain both a sensor beacon and robotic drones that can harvest at least a percentage of any deposits quickly. The Nexus has relied on asteroid mining for the raw materials to support the construction efforts, which yield heavy metals and platinum. The Scorch is a rich source of element zero, but the hazardous conditions that destroy most robotic telepresence make it an expensive pursuit. Most prospectors look on nearby planets for jettisoned rock and debris from the Scourge, which often contain ESO deposits. Terraforming. Terraforming is the science of making planets more viable for life. Soft terraforming involves the introduction of bacteria or algae to bind toxic gases or adjust a hostile ecology. Hard terraforming is often conducted on arid planets with a thin atmosphere, using the impact of a comet or asteroid to warm the planet before introducing microbial life. This process can often take centuries. Terraforming even a barren planet often involves significant financial and ethical hurdles. The Andromeda initiative has the capability for terraforming if necessary, but it's limited by the timeframes involved. The gold worlds surveyed from the Milky Way were intended to support quick colonist deployment, with second-tier candidates identified for potential terraforming later. If the remnant world on Eos is intended for terraforming, as evidence shows, its function is unprecedented. The ability to afford change on a global scale in such a short time defies our understanding of planetary science. Nice. Cryogenic stasis. For many species, early long-range exploration relied on cryogenic stasis. Without modern faster-than-light capability or long-distance transit methods like mass relays, the distance involved in space travel meant that most crews would die of old age before reaching the destination. Cryogenic stasis gradually lowers the body's temperature enough to slow its vital functions, but not low enough for damaging ice crystals to form. Before the pod generates a mass effect stasis field that expands both the individual and the interior environment in the pod. Contrary to the depictions in popular media, the individual is not conscious of time passing. From most travelers' perspective, they lie down in the pod only to be awoken moments later. Ah, cool. Stasis failure, while regrettably common for early expeditions, has been vastly improved over the years. Even in the event of catastrophic system failure, multiple monitoring VIs and failsafes are in place to initiate an emergency wake-up. Sehr gut. Sehr, sehr gut. Die Vorstellung, auf so einer Reise aufzuwachen. So, ne? Ja, wir haben noch 100 Jahre vor uns. Und am Ende kannst du dich nicht mehr schlafen legen, nicht mehr in Stase begeben. Das wäre schon krank. Tag and buy Eotics. E0. Also known as ESO, the RAM material known as Element Zero generates a field when bit. Ich lese hier gerade ein bisschen schneller, aber das kennen wir eigentlich schon. Messer object in this method forms the space of more technology from weapons and measurement. This is rich Element Zero FTL drive. are designed to recycle or reduce static build-up. Das ist interessant. Mass Effect Fields. Blue Box, genau. So, dann haben wir den Tech-Bereich auch abgeschlossen. Ships and Vehicles haben wir noch und die Species-Bereiche. Okay, Arc Barchero. Arc Barchero ist die Andromeda Initiative's designated vessel for transporting Salarian colonists to a new galaxy. Ich trinke jetzt erstmal ein Schlückchen. Ah, herrlich. Man labert sich ja den Mund fusselig. Aber es ist cool. Ja, es ist cool. Mirroring the design of its human counterpart, Hyperion, Arc Pachero can accommodate 20,000 passengers and crew in cryogenic stasis. Pachero's development was plagued by early delays and disagreements between its senior crew and the Initiative's design team. Jetzt läuft mir der Speichel aber erst. Ich weiß, köstlich. Pachero's development was plagued by early... The Salarian penchant for constantly pushing the boundaries of technology was often at odds with the realities of budgets and time constraints. At one point, it was calculated that if every vital and necessary improvement suggested by the Salarian contingent was incorporated into the Pachero's design, its launch would have been delayed until 2204 at the soonest. After considerable debate, a compromise was reached and Arc Pachero departed the Milky Way in 2185 in the initial wave of settlers under the command of Captain Lumont Hyer. Kann sich aussprechen. Der Nomad. Seeking a suitable scout rover, the Andromeda Initiative purchased a promising but rejected design from the System Alliance military. The issue quickly became apparent on rough terrain without the bracing of heavy armor. The chassis was prone to twist. The Initiative had already developed lightweight but strong memory alloys which solved this problem. The resulting ND-1 Nomad exchanges heavy armaments for superior agility. The rover has a tripartite element 0 core, which allows fine control over acceleration in a more modest helium-free fuel coast for its microthrusters. Its lighter weight enables both 6-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel steering for hazardous surface. Fitting the Initiative's adaptive philosophy, the Nomad can be customized with appropriate camouflage or initiative colors. When necessary during long-haul exploration, the rover contains an emergency shelter. It can produce portable water from its hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells, though scientists recommend adding a flavor pack to it first. The Tempest! The Tempest was a survey ship designed for long-range, long-term exploration under a Pathfinder's command. Its lightweight and efficient design allowed it to operate with a small crew and minimal resources. Built by the Andromeda Initiative, the Tempest makes use of several proprietary technologies, including an IES stealth system originally developed by the Systems Alliance. Many of these systems were permitted on the condition that the Tempest only operate in the Andromeda Galaxy. Oh, kein Problem. The Tempest's Engine, das ist cool, dass sie sowas dürfen. Und wenn halt hier, wir verlassen die Galaxie, Leute. Wir tun euch nichts, wir kommen nicht wieder. Cool. Und dann kommen wir wieder und machen euch platt. Die Vorstellung einer anderen Galaxie, Menschen und andere Lebensformen wie wir. Da sitzt man auch zu Hause und denkt sich, was machen diese Pioniere gerade? Und was machen die gerade in der Milchstraße? Und ach, das ist ein cooles Konzept. The Tempest engine is a variation on the Ark's ODSY drives that allow long-term operation, capturing a percentage of the static build-up in capacitors. The recycled electrical charge powers several of the Tempest's onboard systems. As a Pathfinder vessel, the Tempest has research and development facilities, laboratories, and a well-appointed meeting space to accommodate dignitaries. Laboratories, anticipating any potential first contact scenarios. Sorry, ich musste gerade nochmal Laboratories sagen, weil ich das Wort früher mal in einem der Splinter Cell Pandora. Was Pandora Tomorrow oder was? Chaos Theory. Das erste, wo man diesen Multiplayer hatte. Ich glaube Chaos Theory? War Chaos Theory. Wo es den Multiplayer-Modus gab, der ja so cool war, dieser asymmetrische Multiplayer-Modus. Sie haben ein Level. Da war auch ein Bereich mit einem Labor und ich habe mit jemandem gespielt online, auf Englisch kommuniziert, schon noch sehr jung. Und ich habe es nicht geschafft, das Wort Laboratory auszusprechen. Oh, the spies are in the lab. Ich habe es nicht hingekriegt. Furchtbar. So. Ich weiß, sehr interessante Geschichte, aber ich wollte es mal erzählt haben. Weiter geht's mit der Ark Leucinia. Constructed in orbit around Piaris in the Asari home system Parnita, Ark Leucinia is named after a kingdom of wealth and learning in Asari mythology. She is built to the same specifications as her sister Ark Hyperion, with internal modifications to accommodate Asari social preferences, and captained by Alanis Atandra. The Andromeda initiative was initially rejected as a human-driven boondoggle by many by many Asari investors, and the construction of the Leucinia was met with ridicule. However, the efforts drew the attention of several matriarchs who had assisted in previous attempts to send crewed missions to Andromeda, and their impassioned external addresses helped turn the tide of public opinion. At her departure ceremony, Ark Leucinia was officially blessed by the Atamna Politeia, an organization of Seerist high priestesses from across the Asari republics. Ark Leucinia traveled to the Initiative rendezvous point in 2184 and left the Milky Way as part of the initial departure wave in 2185. Tempest technology. The Tempest required a number of experimental technologies to accommodate the unique requirements of a Pathfinder team. Its planetary surface imaging, for example, uses photosensitive and radar-lidar emitting microsatellites that coordinate with the Tempest's router back to SAM-node. I then conduct simulated scientific and probability studies on the data before presenting the Pathfinder with a summarized analysis, typically in 0.5 seconds. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad. The Tempest computer network presented interesting challenges. As most Milky Way computer systems have anti-AI safeguards built in, the Tempest network had to be designed from scratch to accommodate my interaction with the ship systems. Firmware bridges inspired by studios' studies into GAF networking technology allow me to temporarily interact with and augment sensors communications and the ship's navigation area. Given the desire to reduce mass without sacrificing safety, the electrical charge of the Tempest capacitors is used to keep the ship stable via prototype piezoelectric vibration reduction (PVR) technology. When the ship's superstructure is bent by vibrations, such as during atmospheric re-entry or complex flight maneuvers, piezoelectric elements receive an electrical charge that bends bulkheads in the opposing direction, reducing vibrations and smoothing the ship's flight path. Research capabilities. Sorry. Pathfinders are often the first to encounter new potential threats or valuable technology. The Tempest is therefore equipped for sophisticated research and development in the field, to support a fast turnaround of any necessary upgrades or analysis. Its research center syncs with the tech lab systems, give an insight into the capabilities of new materials and their potential applications. My connection to Arc Hyperion and the Nexus allows me to transfer data and latest discoveries from the scientists stationed here. Quantum computing enables multiple complex simulations to be run simultaneously, and new components or configurations can be tested virtually before they are built. Sehr gut. Stealth systems. In 2183, the Systems Alliance and the Turian hierarchy co-developed the IES Internal Emission Sink stealth system for small military frigates. It's unknown how the initiative acquired this system for its survey ships, as IES stealth technology is classified. Despite valid security certifications, no record of negotiations exists in the Nexus legal archives. An IES stealth system is designed to capture the heat and radiation emitted by all starships in refrigerated storage sinks, effectively removing the ship from sensors. Initiative starship systems are streamlined to emit less electromagnetic and particle radiation and to lower heat production. This reduces the amount of emissions to be stored. Additionally, breakthroughs in cryogenic research allow the storage sinks to be more effectively refrigerated, allowing stronger stealth time before the sinks must be vented for safety. The Tempest can remain stationary in stealth for several hours or travel at faster than light in silent running for shorter periods. Arc Netanus. Arc Netanus was constructed in orbit around Aventine, a once lucrative mining planet in the Turian home system Tribia. The Arc was named after legendary spacefarer Felix Netanus, who is believed to be the first Turian to travel through a mass relay. The Netanus is built to similar specifications as the Asari and human arcs, but with minor changes to accommodate her dextro amino acid-based passengers. Netanus is captained by the renowned Dear Brayton of the 6th Fleet. Like most economical ventures, Turian investors were turned onto the Andromeda initiative by their clients, the Volus. The Turian hierarchy was intentionally kept in the dark to keep the initiative a private civilian project. Arc Netanus traveled to the initiative rendezvous point in 2184 and left the Milky Way as a part of the initial departure wave in 2185. Laboratories. The Tempest is equipped for long-range survey and scientific studies, which are carried out at the ship's two main labs. The biolab is equipped to hydroponically grow both Milky Way and Andromeda plant life for research or consumption. The plants also clean the ship's air and generate a modest amount of oxygen. Sealed observation chambers are set up to study small fauna, sequence genetic material, or simulate bacterial growth in careful, controlled conditions. All biomatter entering or leaving the lab is subjected to additional quarantine measures. Das ist so cool. The tech lab is used for engineering and technical studies, spectral analysis using laser apparatus, and for analyzing the capabilities of discovered technology. New minerals or metals can be subjected to additional resistance testing before being used in the Tempest Research Center. Because of the potential volatility of new materials, the tech lab is equipped with heavy radiation shielding and can be sealed off in an emergency. Arc Hyperion kennen wir schon. Herrlich. Andromeda Species lesen wir nochmal. Flora and Fauna. Overview. The nature of life in the Andromeda Galaxy was debated at length by Milky Way scholars. Many Milky Way species show convergent evolution, upright bipeds of a certain height and atmospheric tolerances, leading some to theorize this pattern might give some evolutionary advantage, despite counter-arguments by Hanar scientists. Interestingly, the cat and Angara continue to fit this pattern. Angara. The wildlife and flora encountered by the Helios cluster have adapted to the presence of the scorch. The wildlife and flora encountered in the Helios cluster have adapted to the presence of the scorch, involving epidermal layers or carapaces that can cope with ambient radiation, or in the case of some plants, successfully feeding off it. Many use bioluminescence to attract prey or as a threat or mating display. Concerns were raised around the ability of Milky Way species to consume proteins from Andromeda, so seed banks formed a significant part of the Ark's cargo. We know now it is safe to consume food grown or hunted here, though enzyme supplements are recommended and have become a social norm at mealtimes. Wildlife Manta. Nicknamed a manta by Andromeda Initiative observers, this majestic creature has been sighted on several worlds in the Helios cluster. Several worlds, wow. The Nexus scientists believe it may have originally evolved on a world with heavy deposits of element zero, giving it the ability to lower its mass enough to swim through the air. Expanding the muscular gas pillars on its underside allows the creature to rise and orient itself in flight. Despite its size, roughly 30 meters, the manta is not a threat to outposts or explorers. It appears to subsist on mineral deposits from rock formations, wrapping itself around rock spires or even against cliff faces to remain camouflaged while it feeds. Their camouflage ability suggests that these mantas have predators or other reasons to remain hidden, but thus far the reasons remain unclear. Remnant interessieren mich auch sehr. With mysterious goals operate throughout the Helios cluster. Interfacing. Remnant technology requires careful reactivation dubbed interfacing, a process Alec Ryder and I first developed on Habitat 7. Using Cliff's dense data packets of remnant code, a working understanding of the language and the interface capabilities of a Pathfinder implant, I can help you trigger or control remnant technology from appropriate locations. Interfacing is the only way to activate certain remnant technology, such as monoliths. Scans and surface damage suggest that the cat have repeatedly attempted to activate these sites by other, increasingly desperate methods without success. Interface capabilities, that's cool. It is not clear whether remnant technology is designed to be activated by an AI. There is no evidence of artificial intelligence in remnant structures investigated thus far, and remnant bots have only rudimentary programming. However, the glyphs contain recognition keys analogous to an electroencephalogram (EEG), implying the system is designed to handle a form of neural implant. Creators. An artificial creation must have a creator, but there is scant evidence of whomever created the remnant. I have consulted Nexus scientists, scans obtained by PB, on the condition that they not rearrange her data, and records of your own investigation, but my conclusion remains speculation. We can be certain that the remnant builders are several orders of sophistication above the initiative's technology. Interlinked cluster-wide planetary engineering is beyond the logistics or budgets of any known species. Cluster-wide planetary engineering. Ja. Krass, die Vorstellung. The energy requirements alone suggest a Type 1 civilization on the Kardashev scale. Type 1. Wow. Das ist schon krass. On a cultural level, the builders must have been intelligent and capable of large-scale cooperation. The proportions of the walls and devices found suggest a species with similar physical traits to humans, but with no genetic evidence left behind. Their appearance, along with their motivations, remain a mystery. Oh, so viele Mysteries, ich liebe es! Das ist so geil! The Preachers. Created by assemblers, these Preachers are levitating drones that move in rapid, aggressive bursts using a powerful micro-thruster. PP claims to have named them Preachers after mistaking one for an observer. And quickly realizing this new example broke the rules. Analysis of Preacher debris shows that their systems are fundamentally unstable. Their power cores are improperly shielded and many of their inner workings are exposed. This suggests that they are created for short-term deployment to handle intruders. Who stray into Remnant territory, and in turn offer some insight into Remnant builders' military doctrine. Combined with single-minded programming that focuses on hostiles, the volatile construction of breachers makes them extremely dangerous. If provoked, the breacher will launch itself at an opponent and attempt to latch onto it, using exposed gears to climb through hard suits and cause severe damage. When damaged beyond repair, a breacher may trigger its power core to overload and self-destruct. Decryption. Most Remnant technology is inert or in a standby mode, but some is secured with a decryption grid. Unlocking it requires scanning the correct Remnant glyphs and arranging them in a specific order. The glyphs cannot repeat on any straight line or within a square block of 4. PB speculates this could be a safety measure. Even if a method was devised to brute force hack an interface, it would not work with the decryption grid. Given the devastating consequences when Remnant technology is improperly activated, her analysis seems sound. The arrangement of the glyphs appears to complete either a password or a code phrase within the grid as a whole. From the little I understand of the Remnant language, they appear to form an almost palindromic Sator square sentence, but the finer meaning would require the detailed explanation from the grid's designer. Nullifiers, die sind neu. This Remnant model appears to have been designed for excavation. If provoked, it enters a siege mode, where it anchors itself to the ground and launches explosive projectiles at the target. In this mode, this Remnant constantly runs a self-repair cycle, reducing damage from incoming fire. Okay. PB claims that this characteristic is what earned it the name Nullifier. Recovery of Nullifier parts has been illuminating. They use both balancing pittons and dense ferrofluid reservoirs in their lower extremities to remain stable while firing, design characteristics that could be useful for initiative mining operations. Their blast shielding is also surprisingly light for its thickness, 72 mm in density. The plates are cushioned by a honeycomb of shock-absorbing polymer to distribute any ballistic force. However, these characteristics are also what allows them to absorb heavy fire and act as formidable opponents. Assembler. Remnant assemblers were nicknamed for their ability to create smaller units known as breachers. Each assembler contains a reservoir of an unknown ferrofluid similar to Omnigel, which can be used to 3D print breachers on the spot with alarming speed. Tactically, assemblers focus on manufacturing reinforcements, moving to safe distances during combat. If approached while in its hostile mode, the assembler can jettison the partially completed power core of a breacher, which acts like an explosive grenade. Causing massive damage to enemies and allowing the assembler to withdraw. Upon creating a breacher, the assembler transfers a full copy of its stored recent memory and battlefield disposition to a new remnant, ensuring it is combat ready almost immediately. This capability means the assembler is constantly branching and partitioning its memory in preparation without loss of data, an interesting characteristic that may be useful in future artificial intelligence designs. Observer. Observers, mid to long-range Remnant drones, can be seen at most Remnant sites. They are equipped with Element 0 cores to allow them to levitate, and can normally be seen scanning or conducting maintenance at these sites. While they are the least robust of the Remnant bots, observers are still a threat to unprepared explorers if provoked. Examination of destroyed Remnant observers shows they have multiple sensor vectors, visual, oral, electromagnetic, and others as yet undefined, and a comprehensive toolkit of equipment for observation and maintenance, including an ultraviolet beam laser. Serving partially as its primary weapon, the frequencies of an observer's laser appear to react with Remnant structures to induce a repair cycle. Observers are also capable of bringing other Remnant online, likely as part of their maintenance duties. When asked, PB explains the name observers with "Everywhere you go, they seem to be looking at you." Und jetzt allgemein, The Remnant. Nochmal die Stimme reinmachen. Remnant is the umbrella term coined for technology, structures, and autonomous bots that have been sighted across the Helios cluster. Seemingly abandoned by whomever created it, this Remnant technology is extremely advanced, but most of it is in a Standby state. Nur ganz kurz. Ich muss mal kurz was lernen. Und zwar möchte ich wissen, Remnant auf Deutsch. Die Remnants, die Reste, okay. Das ist interessant. Danke, Google. But most of it is in a standby state. On Habitat 7, Alec Ryder discovered that reactivating this technology required scanning glyphs, data packets written in Remnant coding language, and my assistance with interfacing at particular consoles. This is complicated by Remnant bots that still guard and maintain many of these installations. Remnant bots do not appear to be sentient, but they are programmed to consider any interference with the technology as a hostile act and attack single-mindedly. The Cat have an interest in Remnant technology and have been sighted across the cluster, attempting to study or control sites where it's still active. Evidence suggests the Cat have not yet developed a reliable method of interfacing. Okay. Damit haben wir die Remnants durch. Sehr interessant. Was auch immer die sein werden. Cat. Cat. A fiend. Fiends are monstrous beasts with a heavily armored carapace. Unlike the stealthier wraiths, fiends are besieging units that attack head-on, scattering enemy forces and destroying entrenched enemy positions. They attack non-Cat without appearing to need orders. Some scientists believe fiends respond aggressively to an absence of Cat pheromones or similar cues. Similar cues. Nicht so schwer. Non-Cat will appear to need orders. Some believe fiends respond aggressively. Absence of Cat pheromones. A fiend's carapace is permeated by dense cartilage that makes it both strong and flexible, and acts as a shock absorber for incoming fire. Preliminary study of their nervous system suggests that nerve transmission is dampened above a certain pain threshold, allowing a fiend to detect injury but not be slowed by it. Reports of fiend encounters are often accompanied by casualty lists, and the militia advises that only a well-armed and organized team should handle a fiend at full rampage. Cat. According to Nexus officials, the aliens encountered on Habitat 7 are known as the Cat, a species that has proven hostile in every reported encounter. Little is known about them or their motives. The Cat possess technologies and weapons at least on par with the Initiatives, and have been responsible for the death or capture of many Initiative personnel. The only commonality is that the Cat have a clear interest in the strange structures and technologies seen on Habitat 7 and, as we know now, on several worlds in the Helios cluster. Scouts and prospecting teams trying to investigate the technology are invariably attacked by the Cat, who take any scans or research materials by force. Why the Cat have such an interest in this technology is unknown, but the Nexus has issued warning bulletins to all off-station teams to avoid these sites for their own safety. Cat. Anointed. The Cat soldiers known as Anointed appear to be of similar caste to the Chosen. Infantry-equipped flight armor. Anointed, however, wield heavy plasma cannons, making them a rallying point for other Cat forces, and shield themselves with kinetic barriers against splashback. A barrage from an Anointed's plasma cannon can shred through enemy barriers and severely damage ground vehicles. Communication intercepts suggest that Anointed assist in coordinating chosen squads and act in an NCO role. it is unclear if the term anointed refers to a senior rank amongst the chosen, or if anointed are part of a separate division within the Cat infantry. Chosen are the frontline soldiers of the Cat, encountered in multiple worlds as support for other Cat combatants. They are equipped with sword rifles that fires plasma-surrounded projectiles and light armor that allows them to move and deploy rapidly. Though their biology is still under investigation, they are capable of surviving in hazardous environments without protective gear. While quick to defer to more senior individuals, Chosen appear to be disciplined and loyal soldiers, undeterred even by biotic attacks or heavy ordnance. They present a continuous risk to unarmed outposts. The name Chosen was intercepted and tentatively translated from Cat communications. If accurate, its significance is unclear, since these are clearly the Cat's baseline infantry. Stimmt. Warum the Chosen? Nicknamed by initiative scouts, unlucky enough to encounter them, Wraiths are war beasts capable of adjusting their carapace pigmentation to blend into their surroundings. This ability lets them stalk an enemy over distance unseen or cause sudden disorder in enemy ranks, flushing targets to be picked off by other Cat forces. When attacking, Wraiths leap and strike with impressive jaw strength. They can puncture ceramic armor. Wraiths present an interesting study to Nexus scientists. Initially believed to originate from the same homeworld as the Cat, since they have similar physical characteristics, Wraiths show clear genetic similarity with other feral creatures sighted across the Helios cluster. Okay. Reach set. Okay. Sehr gut.